Listen to me. I don't know who told you money just shows up. I don't know who lied to you and made you believe success was about luck or that rich people just got lucky. That's a lie. Money doesn't just show up. Money responds to hustle. Money moves toward discipline. You don't earn money by sitting still. You earn it by moving with purpose, by grinding, and by refusing to accept average. You say you want to earn money? Good. But let me ask you something first. How bad do you want it? I'm not talking about wanting it when it's convenient. I'm not talking about wanting it when everything is going right. I'm talking about that deep down, nothing else matters kind of want. The kind that makes you wake up at 4 a.m. because sleep is too expensive. The kind that makes you study when everyone else is partying. The kind that makes you work when you're tired, broke, discouraged, but you keep pushing anyway. Because here's the truth. Money doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're overwhelmed. And it certainly doesn't care if you tried your best. Money is a reward, not a gift. And it only shows up for people who put in real work. You want to earn money? Solve problems. That's the formula, real simple. The bigger the problem you solve, the more valuable you are. People get paid for value. Nobody pays you for existing. You don't get a check for breathing. You get paid when you show up and you bring something that other people need. You think a business is just a dream? Nah, a business is a solution. You want to make money? Stop chasing money and start chasing impact. Be the person that people call when something's wrong because you fix it. Be the answer. Be the one who doesn't need to be told what to do. Be the one who says, I got this, and then delivers. You know what separates the wealthy from the broke? Mindset. Broke people think in terms of spending. Rich people think in terms of investing. Broke people want comfort. Rich people want growth. Broke people say, I can't. Rich people say, how can I? See, the poor mindset waits for opportunity. The wealthy mindset creates opportunity. You want to earn money? Here's the roadmap. Self-awareness. Know your strengths. Know what you're good at. Then triple down on it. Stop trying to be everything. Be excellent at one thing. Excellence gets paid. Mediocrity gets ignored. Skill building. Money flows to skills. If you don't have skills, you don't have leverage. Learn how to market, learn how to sell, learn how to lead, learn how to speak, learn how to write. If you can't bring skills to the table, you're disposable. Period. Discipline. This is where most of y'all fall off. You want wealth, but you don't want routine. You want wealth, but you won't follow through. You don't need motivation. You need structure. You need a system. You need to show up even when you don't feel like it. Execution. Stop talking, start doing. I don't care about your plans. I don't care about your vision board. Ideas are cheap. Everybody's got one. What separates winners is execution. While you're still talking about starting, someone else already launched. Persistence. You will fail. You will lose. You will get laughed at. But if you keep showing up, keep improving, keep learning, guess what? You become unstoppable. Not because you're the smartest, but because you didn't quit. You want to know a secret? Money is everywhere. It's flowing every second. Right now, someone's making a deal. Right now, someone's launching a product. Right now, someone's closing a client. Money is not the problem. Access is the problem. And the only way to access that money is to build something valuable enough that people can't ignore it. Let me be real with you. If you're broke, stop making excuses. If you're struggling, stop blaming. You're not stuck. You're not cursed. You're not a victim. You're just not executing the way you need to. Harsh? Maybe, but it's truth. And truth sets you free. You think working a 9 to 5 is bad? It's not. But if you're working that job with no plan, no strategy, no investment in your future, you're not earning, you're just surviving. Earning is intentional. Earning is about ownership. Earning is thinking long term. Start something, sell something, own something. I don't care if it's t-shirts, tutoring, tech, or training. Just start. Use what you have. Don't wait for perfect. Perfect is a myth. Just begin and get better as you go. You got time for Netflix, but not for your dreams? You scrolling, but you ain't studying? You complaining, but you're not creating? Come on, you better than that. Use your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Every dollar you earn is a reflection of the value you've created. If you want to earn more, you are the engine. You are the brand. You are the product. Stop waiting for someone to choose you. Choose yourself. And listen, don't you dare settle. Don't you dare lower your standard just because the grind is hard. You weren't born for average. You weren't born to be broke. You were born with potential that can't be measured. But it means nothing if you don't activate it. So get up, lock in, bet on yourself. Stop asking for permission. Get in the game and stay in the game. Because the moment you decide that nothing will stop you from building the life you want, that's the moment money starts chasing you. Now go earn it. You want to earn money, then you need to understand one foundational truth. Money follows value. It doesn't follow emotions. It doesn't follow intentions. It doesn't follow potential. It follows value. And value is created when you solve problems. Not when you post quotes online, not when you talk about your big goals, but when you solve a real issue that people are facing. If you can find a problem and fix it better, faster, more affordably than anyone else, money will find you. It has no choice. Most people spend their lives chasing paychecks. They hop from job to job, hoping the next one will pay just a little bit more. They're stuck in a cycle of survival. That mindset will keep you broke. That mindset will keep you chasing. If you want to stop chasing money and start attracting it, you need to shift your focus from what you can get to what you can give. What can you offer that people desperately need? What pain can you remove from their lives? That's the game. That's the secret. And it's not flashy, it's not sexy, but it's the truth. Think about every business that dominates, whether it's tech, health, education, entertainment. They all have one thing in common. They solve problems. A search engine solves the problem of finding information. A rideshare app solves the problem of transportation. A fitness coach solves the problem of unhealthy habits. The more urgent or widespread the problem, the more valuable the solution. And the more valuable the solution, the more money you earn. So stop saying, I need money, and start asking, whose life can I make easier today? That's how you flip the script. That's how you build leverage. People don't pay you because you want money. They pay you because you've given them something they didn't have before. A tool, a result, a relief. If you want consistent income, provide consistent solutions. If you want passive income, build systems that solve problems while you sleep. And here's the key: don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait to have a big team, a big budget, or a big following. You can solve problems with what you have right now. Look around. Listen. Observe. People are complaining every day. That's market research. Every complaint is a business opportunity. Every frustration is a need waiting to be met. You just have to care enough, think hard enough, and act fast enough to meet it. You don't need to be a genius to solve problems. You need empathy. You need awareness. You need grit. You need to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. When most people experience a problem, they complain. When winners experience a problem, they ask, is this something I can fix for myself and others? That's how businesses are born. That's how value is built. Money flows to those who take initiative, not to the loudest, not to the most popular, but to the ones who get things done, the ones who step in figure things out, and deliver results when others are still trying to form a group chat about it. You want money? You need to become irreplaceable. You need to be the one who brings answers to the table, not just opinions. The world is full of problems. That means it's full of opportunity, but only if you have the eyes to see and the hands to build. Every industry has gaps. Every system has inefficiencies. Every human being has pain points. And wherever there's pain, there's a need. And wherever there's a need, there's a chance to show up and serve. This is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, deeper, and more intentionally. Because the goal isn't just to be busy, it's to be useful. Anyone can fill time. Few can fill a need. If you can become the person who does that consistently, you won't need to chase money. Money will find its way to you. Simple, undeniable, and permanent. It doesn't matter where you were born, who your parents are, or what you didn't have growing up. If you can develop a skill, a real tangible skill that the marketplace values, you can earn, you can rise, you can separate yourself from the crowd. The economy rewards results, and results come from competence. If you want to stop begging for opportunities and start attracting them, you need to sharpen something inside of you so sharp that people can't ignore it. There are people out there making 6, 7, even 8 figures, doing things most others consider too hard, too boring, or too technical. Why? Because they locked in, they learned, they practiced, they failed, adjusted, and tried again. They studied when others were scrolling. They stayed in when others were going out. They obsessed over mastery while everyone else was content with mediocrity. That's why they win. That's why they're in demand. The skill became their leverage. Most people don't have a money problem, they have a skill problem. You can't just want more money and expect it to show up. You have to give the market a reason to open its wallet. That reason is your skill. Whether it's sales, coding, marketing, copywriting, graphic design, public speaking, data analysis, product development, negotiation, video editing, whatever it is. If you can do it better than others, you get paid. And the better you are, the bigger the check. It's not about talent. Talent is a bonus, not a requirement. The most successful people aren't always the most talented. They're the most disciplined. They've trained themselves to get good at something, whether they felt like it or not. And that's the mindset you need. You can't wait for motivation. You can't wait for perfect conditions. You need to commit to learning, improving, and mastering your craft every single day. Skills make you recession-proof. They make you layoff-proof. They give you options. When you have high-value skills, you're never stuck. You can freelance, you can consult, you can start a business, you can get hired anywhere. You become your own safety net. You stop being afraid of the economy because you become the economy. You stop looking for job security. The truth is, someone out there is getting paid off the time you're wasting. While you're consuming, they're creating. While you're watching, they're building. While you're relaxing, they're refining their skill set. And that's why they're ahead. You don't need 100 skills. You need one that you go all in on. You need one thing you're so good at that people don't question your price. One thing that makes people say, I need you. That's what earns money. Not hype, not talk, not potential. Performance. The ability to deliver consistent results through developed skill. Don't let distractions steal your future. Every skill you invest in now multiplies your income later. You want to be a high earner? Then become a high skill individual. And no, it's not instant. It takes hours, days, weeks, months, years of effort. But that's what separates those who live paycheck to paycheck from those who build wealth. Learn every day. Practice every day. Challenge yourself every day. Challenge yourself every day. Surround yourself with people who are better than you and learn from them. Get feedback, get uncomfortable. That's how growth works. It doesn't show up in convenience, it shows up in effort. When you commit to being world class at something, the world will pay attention. Discipline beats talent when talent is lazy. Every time. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't show up, if you don't follow through, if you don't stay consistent, that talent is worthless. The people at the top, they're not always the most gifted. They're the ones who show up daily, who execute without excuses, who stay locked in when everyone else is distracted. Talent might get you noticed, but discipline keeps you in the game. Discipline is the reason the underdog becomes the champion while the gifted one fades away. Most people want to win, but they want it on their terms. They want to be rich, but sleep in every day. They want to be successful, but skip the grind. They want results without the routine. That's not how this works. The real winners have structure. They build habits. They don't wait to feel motivated. They act from discipline. They don't work when it's convenient. They work when it's necessary. They don't look for shortcuts. They live in consistency because they understand that success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in is gone. It's waking up when your alarm goes off, not when you feel like it. It's sticking to your plan even when distractions come. It's keeping your word to yourself, especially when no one's watching. That level of self-control is rare, and that's why it's so powerful. That's why it pays. Talented people often lose because they think talent is enough. They think their natural ability exempts them from the process. But there are thousands of talented people who never made it because they couldn't be consistent. They weren't coachable. They didn't want to practice. They didn't want to be held accountable. They relied on talent instead of building discipline. And while they were waiting to feel inspired, someone else with half the talent, but 10 times the work ethic passed them up. Discipline is the great equalizer. It closes the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It doesn't matter if you come from nothing, if you're not the smartest, if you're not the fastest, if you've got discipline, you can outlast them. You can outwork them. You can outgrow them. You can outlearn them because you'll keep showing up after they've quit. You'll keep pushing when they're comfortable. You'll keep improving while they stay the same. There's a cost to discipline, no doubt. It requires sacrifice. It demands focus. It means saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's right. But there's a greater cost to being undisciplined. Missed opportunities, unreached potential, wasted time. You either suffer the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. That's the choice. And only one of those leads to success. If you study the top athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the most elite performers in any field, what you'll find is not just talent, it's routine. It's repetition. It's obsession with doing the little things right over and over again until excellence becomes second nature. That's what creates momentum. That's what builds legacy. They didn't rise by accident. They earned it one disciplined day at a time. You want to build wealth? You want to earn real money? Then you need to treat your time, your habits, and your actions with the same discipline a world-class athlete treats training. You don't show up occasionally. You don't grind when it's easy. You make it a lifestyle. You make consistency your identity. Because in the end, talent may give you a head start, but discipline decides who finishes. Execution is worship. Ideas mean nothing without action. Everyone's got ideas. Everyone's got dreams. Everyone talks about what they're going to do, but very few actually do it. Very few take the first step. Fewer still stay consistent. It's easy to talk. It's easy to imagine. It's easy to post quotes and call it ambition. But the marketplace doesn't pay for imagination. It pays for results. It pays for follow through. It pays for the people who take an idea and bring it to life. Ideas are cheap. You're not the only one who thought of that app, that product, that business model, that hustle. Somebody else had the same thought. The difference is whether you moved on it, whether you got uncomfortable, whether you executed while others were still thinking about it. Too many people sit on $1 million ideas because they're waiting for perfect conditions. They're waiting for confidence. They're waiting for certainty. But real winners move before it's clear. They act before it's comfortable. They understand that speed matters and that progress beats perfection every time. You don't get paid for what's in your head. You get paid for what you bring to the table, what you ship, what you publish, what you deliver. That's execution. Execution is showing up even when you're not ready. Execution is launching even when it's not perfect. Execution is putting in the work, not just planning the work. The world is full of smart people who never did anything with their intelligence. They thought too much, doubted too much, hesitated too long. And while they waited, someone else built what they were still brainstorming. You can't build wealth with potential. You build it with movement. It's not about what you could do. It's about what you did. What actions did you take this week? What systems did you build? What product did you sell? What calls did you make? What clients did you serve? What measurable outcomes did you produce? If you're not executing, you're just dreaming. And dreams without action are just fantasies. The world moves fast. And in that speed, the ones who win are the ones who take initiative. Not the ones who sit around waiting for permission. Not the ones who talk about strategy for months without implementing anything. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't execute it, it's worthless. Plans don't change lives. Action does. The people you admire, the ones earning big, the ones living free, the ones building empires, they execute relentlessly. They don't let a single day go by without taking steps forward. They're not perfect, but they're consistent. They make progress, not excuses. It's better to take messy action than to wait for perfect clarity. You'll learn more by doing than by thinking. You'll grow more by trying than by stalling. Execution builds confidence. Every time you complete a task, close a deal, finish a project, hit a goal, it builds belief in yourself. That belief compounds. That's how momentum is built. Not by thinking more, but by doing more. Talkers are everywhere. Doers are rare. That's why doers stand out. That's why they get the rewards. That's why they move ahead. Because while the rest of the world is analyzing, worrying, doubting, and waiting, they're acting, they're producing, they're making moves. And that's what separates the dreamers from the earners. Execution isn't about being the smartest or the most experienced. It's about showing up and doing what you said you would do. It's about getting out of your head and into motion. It's about making decisions and living with the outcomes. You can pivot, you can adjust, but you can't win if you never start. You can't earn if you never ship. You can't grow if you never go. Invest more in your mind than in your lifestyle. That's the difference between temporary success and generational wealth. Too many people spend their money trying to look rich instead of learning how to become rich. They buy designer clothes before buying books. They upgrade their phone every year, but never upgrade their mindset. They'll stand in line for hours for a pair of sneakers, but won't sit through 1 hour of financial education. That's why they stay stuck. They're acting, they're producing, they're making moves. And that's what separates the dreamers from the earners. That's why they stay broke, because they feed their image but starve their intellect. Your mind is your greatest asset. Not your car, not your watch, not your wardrobe. Those things fade, they break, they depreciate. But knowledge multiplies. Wisdom compounds. The right idea, the right information, the right mental framework can transform your entire life. It can turn a $1,000 investment into a six-figure income. It can turn a setback into a comeback. It can turn time you waste into time you own. But that only happens if you pour into your mind daily, intentionally, and relentlessly. You want to earn more? Learn more. Every new skill, every new book, every new mentor, every new course adds tools to your toolbox. And the more tools you have, the more problems you can solve. The more problems you can solve, the more money you can make. That's the formula. But if your brain is underdeveloped and your ego is overgrown, you'll sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. That's why mental investment isn't optional, it's necessary. Some of the most successful people in the world still read daily, still study, still surround themselves with coaches because they understand that money follows growth. You grow your mind, your value increases. You increase your value, your income rises. But the moment you stop learning, you start declining. The moment you think you know enough, you block your next level. You don't need more stuff, you need more substance. You need more understanding, you need more awareness. Because the game keeps changing, and the only way to keep winning is to keep growing. You don't need $1 million idea to get started. You need $1,000 mindset that can evolve. You need to learn how to think better, how to make better decisions, how to handle pressure, how to stay focused when everyone else is distracted. And that comes from feeding your mind consistently. Podcasts, books, conversations with people ahead of you. Study the game you want to win. Study the people who've already won. Pay attention to patterns. Learn from their losses, not just their highlights. That's how you build wisdom that can't be taken from you. People will spend hundreds on entertainment every month, but hesitate to invest in one course that could change their income forever. That's a mindset issue. That's poverty thinking disguised as confidence. You have to flip that script. You have to get excited about learning, get addicted to progress, get obsessed with improving the way you think, the way you speak, the way you operate. Because as your mind expands, your life expands with it. And once your mind stretches, it never goes back to its original size. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who combines hunger with knowledge. They're unstoppable. They see opportunities where others see problems. They think long term while others chase quick wins. They're calm under pressure because they've trained their mind. And when the world shifts, they adapt because they've been investing in the one asset no market crash, no recession, no critic can take from them, their mind. If you're serious about success, about money, about freedom, then stop spending like a consumer and start investing like a creator. Put your money into what multiplies, into what strengthens your thinking, sharpens your instincts, deepens your understanding. Don't just upgrade your lifestyle, upgrade the person living it.